Fantastic to have your company for another Corona Post Show here at the Margaret River Pro. Stop 4 on the Championship Tour schedule this season. A beautiful morning, great conditions today, and we managed to get through the round of 16 for the women and establish our quarterfinal heats, and they look exceptional. It's going to be a fantastic finish as we move through the event window here, but plenty to break down from a busy morning. Ronnie Blakey with Richie Lovett and Dimity Stoyle. How was the morning for you, Dim?
Yeah, it was really exciting.
You're busy out there.
I was hunting all the action.
Love it. And giving us some great insights out there, Rich. Some really interesting heats on paper, some tough heats for some of the lower seeds on the Championship Tour, but some of them getting up and putting together some great performances.
Yeah, there was some really good heat totals dropped throughout the morning, and that was really good to see. Some of those competitors that struggled to put decent scores on the board came up, really gave it to it. So it was great to see some amazing surfing all morning.
We'll have a good look at it in a moment, but right now we're going to hear from our last quarter-finalist today, Sally Fitzgibbons, winning through in that last heat.
Thanks, Ronald. Sal, you know Malia likes the inside more than anyone on this tour. How'd you use that to your advantage there?
Oh, Stace, that's why we put the jersey on. That heat was so fun. Malia and I have had so many heats together. I think we both know right to the end it's possible. And I was just trying to do everything in my power to stop that comeback, but she got so close, a little too close. But yeah, I felt all the energy from everyone at home, Mum, Dad, my best mates on lunch break, so Carl's, and yeah, felt them with me.
Yeah, even though that heat only falling in the 13-point range, it was certainly an awesome scrap. Do you like those heats to get you ready for finals day?
Oh, for sure. And when you think of the scenario, like on paper, yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. But when you look at that lineup, like dying swell, sort of shifting all along that like inside ledge. So just looking at different options, I had that little left in the back of my mind, and then just playing those cards right. It's every heat's so tough, so that feels amazing. Feels like, yeah, a big win.
Dying swell. How did you make the adjustment on equipment?
Yeah, dying swell, so we shut up in the dark and Steph and I were sitting there and we're like, is it breaking? Like, you're not too sure. And yeah, we dashed back after the warm-up and back on some kind of regular profiles in the HC2. So Breno and the team at Sharp Eye, big hi to those guys, had the quiver dialed so I can go up and down whenever I like, so it's good.
And that you did. Congratulations, on to the quarterfinals.
What do you reckon, Dimity? You reckon
Well done,
Sal's pretty happy today, or what?
Yeah, she's very excited after that, and she loves the games.
Yeah, really enjoying that win. She's had a lot of battles with Malia, and that was another close one, but just managed to hold on, and she's powering into the quarterfinals. Now, reflecting on this round of 16, Rich, great performances across the board, but no one stronger than Carissa Moore.
No, Carissa really brought that world title form out to Margaret River here. She just looks so strong, and I don't know how they're going to match her. That rail game and power and the speed that she's bringing, all her turns, is just, well, it's unmatched at the moment.
We had Caroline Marks in for the call in this heat, Dimity, and she was identifying pretty quickly that Carissa was really pacing herself through these quality rides, but it's scary just how much rail she sinks and the combinations she can put together when she is in that mode.
Yeah, she's so dreamy to watch, and it was so clear in those close-up replays how much rail she throws in. And look at this left that Macy found. Has anyone just tagged 3 big hammer turns on a left this event yet? She found one.
Yeah, I think, you know, there's a lot to take from this performance from Macy, but this is the wave that sealed the deal for Carissa Rich, those big combinations on the outside, and she did start to put the foot down in the end.
I can't see any loss of speed in between each one of her turns, and she just seems like she's going faster than everyone else, and there's more power in the turn. And I just think she is going to be really, really hard to stop in this event. But hats off to Macy, a great heat total. Maybe a little bit frustrating for her. That's 2 events back-to-back now where she's come up against a seasoned competitor. She's put a good number on the board but hasn't got the win. So she needs to stay positive and, you know, keep smiling. On to the next one.
It's kind of bubbling away, though, those solid performances for Macy. Dimity, you've been in that situation yourself. When you start putting up excellent scores, I think in your head, it's a big confidence builder.
Yeah, and this is the momentum that Macy's just been building. I haven't seen her surf a heat like she did in Narrabeen on tour, and it was really cool to see. She just was so strong and throwing up big numbers, and she's continued it here. It's so nice to see.
Yeah, Bronte Macaulay, another surfer who's stepped things up this season with her performance, but she did get the result in a tough heat up against Caroline Marks.
That was an awesome matchup, and it was great to have Caroline on the Harvey Norman couch here just to break it down for her. She still seemed up and happy, and it was a real duel here. Caroline took the early lead and was surfing like that, but saw her out in front. Look at that, just clean snaps on her backhand. I think she identified that her backside attack is one of the strongest. It's one of her real positive points. But then Bronte, she just picked the eyes out of it, waited patiently for the right sets, and then she did some amazing surfing on those waves.
Dimity, she had a slow start to the heat, a couple of mistakes, but she cleaned it up beautifully and got that composure back.
Yeah, she brought it back in pure good fashion. Like, these backside hits have been so impressive, and I'm so happy that she found this in a championship tour level heat.
Well, her and her dad understood just how big a win that was. The backhand attack of Caroline Marks has been the benchmark on the women's tour for a couple of years now, and Bronte Macaulay matching it with her and taking it even further. And I think her local knowledge was a factor as well. But let's hear what Bronte had to say after that big win.
Flying the flag for WA. Bronte, you must be so pleased to get a big win like that at home.
Yeah, I'm so stoked, honestly. Like, that heat was so nerve-wracking because it was pretty slow, and I was just like, kept saying, it's my time, it's my time. And yeah, just the last one I was pretty shaky, but I felt like I did a good first turn and ended up finishing off, and I saw hers behind and I was like, oh no, like, I didn't really know how they were going to score it. But yeah, it means so much getting through that round, and I really needed the result if I want to, you know, make it to the end of the year. So yes, Caroline's just so solid. She's probably, she's the best goofy on tour at the moment, so it's cool to take her down.
You're such a humble character. How does it take that change of attitude to really believe in yourself like that?
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, yeah, you can't be too humble in this sport. And I look at someone like Tatiana, and she's so confident, and I'm like, oh wow, I think I could take a page from her book sometimes, because I'm quite self-critical. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like if you're Australian and you say something overconfident, you get you know, you get a bit of a beat down, so you get pretty roasted. So I don't know, I guess you've got to stay true to yourself, but at the same time you've got to really back yourself, especially in those last few minutes of the heat.
I really appreciate that insight. Talk to me about the performance. I think that would have made a lot of dads and coaches and spectators really proud. Elected to go the first wave of the set, better your situation, and really put it out of doubt there at the end. You must be pleased with that decision making.
Yeah, I knew that wave came, and I knew it was a good one straight away, and I didn't think I'd be able to win with those scores, and I thought a wave would come, so I was like, okay, I've got to better that 6. And that wave, I felt like I had a pretty good first foot, but I was so shaky through the middle. I was like, just finish it off, better your 6. And I was just so happy once I did that close-out rear. I was like, oh, hopefully that's enough. But then you never know. Seeing her on that wave behind, I was just like, I watched the whole thing, and she did a pretty nice last turn, and I was like, oh, she could get the score. So when I heard I got a 7 something, I was like, oh, she'll need like an 8. So hopefully I've done enough to get the job done.
Well done, Bronte. You're doing WA proud.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah.
Great to hear Bronte speaking with a lot of confidence, and we'll see where she can take it. She hasn't cracked a championship tour final before. Maybe she'll do it here at home. That would be an awesome way for her to make that final heat of a CT event. Let's dive now into the Boost Mobile Wave of the Day, and Carissa Moore stealing honours, as she often does at this level. Just so clean, the rail work here, Dimity.
Oh, it never gets old watching it. Just the length of the rail that she holds, and she's also got the ability to mix it up. Every turn's slightly different, and it's really cool to watch.
Yeah, it was an easy choice. A big number dropping for Carissa there. Well, stay with us, because after the break, we're going to have a look at the Surfline forecast and also dive into today's top 5. 2.5 days of competition in the bag. Still a couple to go. Let's dive into the forecast, Rich, and see what's to come in the event window.
Well, this morning we saw the remnants of that strong southwesterly groundswell that we had over the last few days. It's fading off. And, well, we had some contestable waves today. But then there's going to be more on the horizon. It's coming. And, well, you can see there Wednesday all the way through to Saturday. We have this new swell coming in, and it's going to be a thumper. But on top of that, we've got a slight onshore breeze. We've had mainly offshore winds for the last few days. The wind's going to shift around. So we're going to have to duck and weave a bit. On some of the days, it's quite light and variable. So we might be picking the eyes out of it. We'll be down here every morning checking it out, though.
Yeah, I think that's probably the safe bet. And we know that onshore conditions can present some different opportunities for a different brand of surfing. Dimity, we might see some surfers taking to the air.
Yeah, let's hope so. And what would you rather, big onshore or small clean? That's the question.
I don't mind either way. I'll be enjoying the show from the comfort of the Harvey Norman set. But let's dive into the top 5 for today. Some big moments, some great performances from the world's best, and we'll get things started here. I loved watching the conditions that the surfers were faced with. Obviously, they didn't have that fear factor when they went out there and competed today, Rich, and it allowed them to really attack these end sections. Joanne Defay with big individual turns got the jump on the young Japanese surfer.
Yeah, it was back to that sharp, quick action performance surfing, and Joanne Defay, just look at her there, laying into that critical snap. Love that layback attack. She really gets the leverage and the power in the turn, the really sharp turning acute angle redirection, and well, she was a happy camper.
Unloading that power. Good mates meeting for our number 4 moment in the top 5, Dimity. Stephanie Gilmore, I think she'll click into gear a little bit now. That 7.17 that she found, it seemed to just reconnected with this location.
Yeah, no, it was nice to see her just let loose a little bit. She's been feeling a little bit lost in the previous heat, so it was nice. She just got some really sweet turns in, found the barrel. She's a little tube pig.
Aren't we all? Yeah, I just think that Steph was kind of failing to put a ride together, and the 7.17 will set her on a path nicely as she moves into the quarterfinals once again. At number 3, Tatiana Weston-Webb consolidating her position in the top 5. That final 5 is looking good for her. She's doing brilliant surfing in the moment.
Well, along with Bronte Macaulay, well, the standout backhand for the day was Tatiana Weston-Webb. Just have a look at some of these turns. So much speed and aggression, throwing all that spray skyward. I think what she was able to do more than most was just really release on the backhand as well. Bringing a point of difference there. I feel like Tatiana's on a bit of a roll now, isn't she?
She sure is, pushing up into the excellent range again. Isabella Nichols at number 2, getting the victory over Keely Andrew in a hard-fought heat, Dim, and it was really won in the opening stages here.
Yeah, wow, this is such an intense heat to watch. There was reef, wow, that was really heavy, and that definitely rattled her. Could just see it, but Isabella just fought back as well. She had a bit of a gnarly incident with her leg rope getting caught under the reef, and just her very next wave she was just snapping like nothing was wrong. So cool to see them, you know, not be too phased.
Yeah, there's that tricky situation with the leg rope. Isabella managed to get the leash unwrapped and got back out there and took control. Keely Andrew had a great fighting finish, a gritty performance by both competitors, and that's the reason they finished at number 2. But number 1 in our final 5 today, our top 5, Carissa Moore. Her domination on these big walls, and what was a high-scoring heat, Rich? She just rose above.
She did indeed, and well, Macy Callahan, she fought gallantly all the way to the end here, finding one of the rare left-handers and putting on that backhand attack, and one of the highest numbers of the day. But Carissa Moore bringing that power, the flow, the style, that aggression to every single turn. And just have a look at the speed demon in motion here. She is just rifling it through all these sections and looking totally on point. Quite ominous with the forecast that we have and the increase in swell that is going to happen from tomorrow. She's going to be hard to beat.
Dimity, at the top end, I mean, we're looking at that final 5 and who's got the great form so far through this contest. And Carissa, it's unquestionable. She is looking like the best surfer in that mix at the moment.
Yeah, she has just turned up in every location and just been on another level. And it's so clear here. She's so smooth. So in a wave like Margaret's, it's hard to do that.
Definitely. Now, some big news confirming a date change for the Jeep Surf Ranch Pro. Later on the schedule, it is coming up after Rottnest, and it will kick off on June 18th over there in Lemoore. I can't wait to see the world's best. It's just such a varied conditions that we've had on the schedule so far this year, Rich.
Yeah, it actually fits in quite nicely, actually, when you think of all the different waves and breaks that we've been to. And to throw our competitors back into the pool on a more kind of calculated canvas. And they can really show us what they have. And it's like they put together a run, basically, more so than a ride. And I think it's a new element to surfing that's really being celebrated, the whole the pool activity. I'm liking it.
Yeah, the Jeep Surf Ranch Pro will kick off on June 18th. Well, make sure you go to worldsurfleague.com, have a look at those big quarterfinal matchups for the women, and tune in tomorrow morning to see if we can get competition back underway.
It's been so long hard days. They don't say God's changed my ways.
Still really clean, and there's still some really, really fun waves out there.
And it's a great heat to kick things off. Bronte Macaulay is the hometown hero here, and she hasn't let them down.
Tyler in the battle with Carissa Hennessy.